mess with the great and powerful Max, and now must suffer the consequences. I summon the burning rain of death.
Burning rain of death. Burning rain of death. He makes fire in his hand.
For our second entry into Witch Month, we're going to do something we very rarely do, at least outside of our movie night adventure theme months that we've done. We're talking about a movie aimed at families, released strangely enough in July 1993. I don't get why they didn't do it in October since it's a Halloween movie by Walt Disney Pictures. Tonight we're talking about Kenny Ortega's Hocus Pocus.
Yes?
I will ask thee one final time.
Yes?
What hast thou done with my son, Thackeray?
Thackeray.
Answer me!
Well, I don't know. Cat's got my tongue.
Originally a bomb when it came out in 1993, it's become a cult classic after decades of ABC Family and Disney Channel airings around Halloween. And it's created an entire cottage industry of articles about it every year, especially after Disney released Hocus Pocus 2 in 2022. Of course, a bomb for Disney is still a movie that was made for $28 million, making $39 million at the box office initially.
That happens very often, and nothing I've done ever reached the heights of what The Stand did. Well, except Hocus Pocus.
Yeah,
which,
we'll get to Hocus Pocus in a minute.
Which was actually written 8 years before it was made.
Right.
My draft, anyway. There are 11 other people on it after me, but we'll get to that.
Yes.
It was written by Mick Garris and based off of a story that the producer, David Kirshner, told his daughter after seeing a black cat wander over from his neighbor's house and inventing the Sanderson Sisters, three witches who turned a boy into a cat. Mick Garris is probably best known for his many collaborations with Stephen King on now cult classic TV miniseries that King would write and Garris would direct. And that way he was kind of like an early version of Mike Flanagan.
To hit the, it was not particularly successful when it came out. It was a very mild success.
Right.
But over time, and it really started with the Disney Channel, they started running it on Halloween, and then ABC started doing it. And every year it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and people keep asking about a sequel and all that. That's finally about to start production.
Right.
And the merchandise, it's the biggest Halloween movie in history.
Hocus Pocus was directed by Kenny Ortega, who had moved from acting to choreography on 80s classics like St. Elmo's Fire, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which he was also the second unit director on, Dirty Dancing, and Pretty in Pink. In 1992, Kenny Ortega made his directorial debut with Newsies. And after Hocus Pocus, he'd go on to direct both Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, and the High School Musical trilogy. Kenny Ortega tried to cast Leonardo DiCaprio for Hocus Pocus, but he turned it down because he was working on What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Shut up! Dad's dead.
Arnie.
Dad's dead.
Arnie, shh. Arnie.
He also hoped to cast Rosie O'Donnell and Cloris Leachman, who the Bette Midler role was originally written for. The original concept for Hocus Pocus would have been called Disney's Halloween House and been much darker, and all the young characters would have been 12. Finally, after searching around for quite a while, Bette Midler was cast as the main witch, Winifred Sanderson, and Sarah Jessica Parker, right before Ed Wood, Mars Attacks, and then Sex and the City, was cast as her sister. And finally, Kathy Najmi, who just a year earlier had starred in the VHS record-breaking Sister Act with Whoopi Goldberg, a film of success Hocus Pocus would seek to emulate, as well as Omri Katz, Vanessa Shaw, and Thora Birch as the sassy younger sister almost a decade before Ghost World. The movie tells the story of the Sanderson sisters, three witches in Salem who want to use magic to drain the life force out of the children of Salem to stay young forever.
Tis her life force. The potion works. Take my hands. We will share her.
Oh, Winnie, how generous of thee.
They drain a little girl named Emily Binks and turn her brother Thackeray into a talking cat, which I'm sure didn't give any kids nightmares, before they're finally caught and hung for witchcraft. But they've hexed a black candle that if a virgin lights, they'll return from the dead. Thackeray the cat stays around their house, warning people to stay away from lighting the candle.
Black flame candle. Made from the fat of a hangman. Legend says that on a full moon, it will raise the spirits of the dead when lit by a virgin on Halloween night. What happened?
A virgin lit the candle.
But a virgin named Max from LA who's just moved to Salem wants to impress a girl in his class and lights the candle, bringing the Sanderson Sisters into the 1990s.
Bubble, I'm in trouble.
Tell me, friend, what is this contraption?
I call it a bus.
A bus.
A what?
And its purpose?
To convey gorgeous creatures such as yourselves to your most forbidden desires.
Before I introduce the panel, please like this video and subscribe to the Movie Night Extravaganza YouTube channel. Then hit that bell to get notified whenever we're streaming. Super chats are now open. If you have any pressing questions, send us a super chat, which helps me maintain the expenses for the show, which I am obligated by the rules of the Geneva Convention to stop everything and ask the panel. Another way to help us out is to become a patron and give us money every month. In exchange, you get access to all of our after parties, bonus content, and we'll tell you even more movies we watched recently. Patreon.com/Movie Night Extra. We have a Movie Night Extravaganza Discord. There's an invite link in the episode description, and we have a Letterboxd HQ account. So those are 2 more places to follow along with us. Okay, let me introduce the illustrious panel. We are live right now on This Space. If you aren't following them, join This Space TV on YouTube. Link below. Conan Neutron is the co-host and senior producer for Movie Night Extravaganza, host of Protonic Reversal, an independent Film Critics of America film critic, and the frontman for the band Conan Neutron and the Secret Friends. Check out his music at neutronfriends.bandcamp.com. Kristina Oakes is a co-host of Movie Night Extravaganza, a streamer on Twitch, twitch.tv/cosmopolitics, a host at This Space, hosting Kristina's Corner, and is across social media at Cosmopolitics and on Letterboxd at Christina. I, of course, am your host and a talking cat, Forrest Miller. It's a full moon tonight. That's when all the weirdos come out.
Well, you're darn right about that. Look at this show.
Yeah, look at me.
That's right.
Last night I was biking and it was like the fullest moon. Like it was one of those like like when the moon gets like really big. Because it grows in size.
Supermoon or whatever.
The moon actually grows in size, and when it's really big, it's closer to Earth. No, but so I saw the really big, and my first thought seeing the moon out when I was biking was like, that's when all the weirdos come out.
Full moon entertainment, indeed. This is quite the legacy on this one. This is it's interesting to me. Because again, sometimes the age difference on this show shows. I did not see this as a kid. This was not out as a kid. I was in high school
when this movie came out.
Yeah, so I did not, and I was not as aware. It wasn't really my vibe at the time. But I do remember. Ironically, the one thing I do remember about it is what apparently every male film viewer remembers, which is that Sarah Jessica Parker is very attractive in this.
Yeah, this was after she did, what was it, Girls Just Want to Have Fun, the movie where she was like a dork. Like, she was very dorky in the 80s. Yeah. So, like, a lot of people were like, whoa, what happened to her? Okay. Glow up.
Yeah, her vibe in this is fantastic. And that's one of my favorite characters as well. Have you noticed, and I don't want to, Forrest, we can't hear you. The Three Stooges of it all? Like, basically.
Very Shirley and Moe, but for women.
Yeah. I mean, like Bette Midler's Moe, and so it's basically like, I that has to be intentional, right? And I mean, because if you think about it, like it matches exactly, and it's a tried and true comedic thing, right? But it's just funny that like when I saw it before, I don't think I was paying that close attention, frankly. And so So Winifred's Moe, Mary is Larry, and Sarah's Curly, basically.
Yeah.
If Curly was a like super hot goth chick.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. I was doing the same thing again when I plugged in headphones, and then all of a sudden the microphone was like out.
One hocus after another. Oh yeah, because Leonardo DiCaprio. Okay, very good. Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah. There you go.
We'll address the bus driver, I'm sure. Rick, don't worry about it.
The first time I saw this movie,
would later get me too'd.
Sad bus driver from Hocus Pocus, me too'd.
First time I saw this movie, I was obviously really, really young because it would air on the Disney Channel. Like again, it took a while for the Disney Channel to do their like Halloween theme until like not late '99, early 2000s, from what I remember. And it's like I always compare it to A Christmas Story, because A Christmas Story, a lot of people are like, yeah, it airs on TBS and TNT for 24 hours on Christmas Day. That's why it got so popular and became a Christmas cult classic.
Dude, you can't avoid it. You can't avoid the Christmas, like a Christmas Story on Christmas Eve. Like it's on AMC. It's on like it's everywhere.
Well, it's interesting because what did come out the same year was Nightmare Before Christmas. Which was I feel like that was the first. So I'm going to asterisk my own statement before I finish it. The first times that it was blending that kind of thing with the main Disney property, and the caveat there is like 70s things like Black Cauldron and like darker stuff along those lines. But like they basically under Eisner had been like, no, we're going to keep it like strictly family fare, right? And so they shied away from like the freakier. And some of those experiments and stuff that they did, like Witch Mountain and stuff, is like, it's awesome.
The crazy thing though, Nightmare Before Christmas, right? Like I just looked up the release date. So they aired it at the New York Film Festival on October 9th, and then October 29th, so 2 days before Halloween is when they This movie, they wanted to get the kids that were like, all of the kids that were like not in school, I guess, in July. So this movie, they put out a Halloween movie in the middle of July. But then VHS, like there was a much longer wait time between a movie coming out and then a movie going on to VHS. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I doubt this movie made it onto like, VHS shelves by the time Halloween came around. So it seems like it's the worst of both worlds in that.
What's the and I'm not talking about the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which is the more recent one, but the Sabrina the Teenage Witch show, that was a few years later, right? And I'm specifically asking for the Thackeray mix of it all, which is to say the talking cat, and that
cat.
Yeah, that's so
sassy.
I feel like this movie in pre-meme culture was like, oh, there's a talking cat in it. I'm like, okay, like Milo and Otis. Wait, not Milo and Otis. Freaking. Actually, do they talk in Milo and Otis? I don't remember. There's some movie where the cat's talking. I can't remember. But it's like voiceover.
Yeah, it's 96 that Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the movie, and then the TV.
Okay, so it's like 3 years later, right? But I feel like the seeds for.
And both on
the cat talking, that started with this, which even though technically it's enchanted.
Even Stuart Little had the talking cat,
Yeah, I mean it's not the first time ever to have talking cats in cinema. Just that like as a '90s thing where it's like
that witches, the witches have
with witches specifically, that like they really leaned into that this decade.
Well, I mean, it makes a lot of sense when you think about like the concept of like familiars. It's like why wouldn't a witch be able to like. Charm their cat into like being able to talk. Like it just seems like it would help with things a lot more to have like a cat as an assistant instead of
which I mean, and that's all the way back to
two mentally challenged sisters.
That's all the way back to Bell Book and Candle, right? I mean, clearly, like the cat there is very very more astute than he is. Like, I think I'm allergic to your cat. Like it's like that. But he's not talking. That's the difference. And but of course, harder to do a talking cat. Before, not that the CGI is amazing or anything, but before the rise of digital effects.
Yeah. Well,
thank you. Talking cats, everybody. Thanks for coming.
But also, too, people don't. A pre-NCIS Sean Murray played Thackeray Binks, but it wasn't his voice. James Marsden, who's known for doing a lot of voiceover work, did the actual because he could do a British accent. Yeah, he's known for playing a Goofy movie. Playing the son Max. In
Sonic the Hedgehog too, right? Isn't he something?
Yes, he's known for voicing. So I mean, for us who had the Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, Goku, like
Lion King 2, Electric Boogaloo, right? Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Like him playing, Kovu or the voice, like everyone's like, oh my god, like he's actually
apparently
doing the whole thing right now.
Not related to James Marsden at all. Which is
is it?
Yes, there's two different. Yeah. Right now, him and Omri Katz, they're doing like a little Hocus Pocus thing because I'm seeing videos on TikTok all of a sudden.
Hocus Pocus.
Yeah. What's ironic is that Omri now has his own like cannabis company, which is funny because Ice and Jay asked him if he had any weed, and he's like, "Nah, I don't smoke."
Yeah. Well, I mean, that character is like, I don't know. This movie is so quintessentially 90s, like all of the characters.
It's very 90s, yes.
And
to including the borderline sexual assault, but we'll get to that, I'm sure.
Well,
oh yeah.
There's the kid that doesn't fit in because he's like, he's from LA, and everyone in Salem is like,
Hollywood. It's like, okay, like this is not landing how you think it's
landed. No,
yeah. right.
But also just like the bully calling himself Ice, like as a thing, and then having Ice in the back of his head.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember
by Ernie. Yeah.
Like the Ice Cube, Ice T, Vanilla Ice. That was there was a lot of
that was
Ice means something entirely different now.
That was the first time a white boy had bars like that. So everybody wanted to. Everybody wanted to jump in.
Because their song goes da na 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 na, and my song goes da na 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 na.
Yeah, I'm like, shut up, Vanilla Ice. It's the same song.
It's the same song.
One more chord doesn't change a thing.
Jumping down on me.
What I don't remember from this movie is how almost every character is constantly hassling this high schooler for being a virgin. Like, this kid is 15. Like, lay off him. And it's everybody. Like, the guy like cosplaying as a cop.
Yeah,
like mentions it. It was like what?
See, I think
his
today,
sister knows what it means, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah, Thora Birch is lighting him up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, today that guy would still light him up for being a virgin, but I feel like today's character would have to lie because it's like, I mean, it was embarrassing then, but I feel like it's like so embarrassing even to be like a 12-year-old and be like, oh, you're a virgin, and it's like. You like every 12-year-old has to be like, no, I totally. There was this girl in Canada that I was
Canadian girlfriend. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I think that's notable for a number of reasons, not the least of which is that it's just different times, right? Like that would not fly now. that would just not be a thing that happens.
Like even now, I mean, with Gen Z being less sexual and whatever, people are more and more coming to realizing that virginity is a concept that's not real. Like the whole act itself, it's like, yeah, the hymen's still intact, blah 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 blah. It ain't.
You should have explained it to those kids. When you went to light the candle.
Actually, kids,
this is just a social construct.
It really is if you think about it.
But I don't
explain it to them witches.
Yeah,
I feel like horror movies really capitalized on it though. Like every horror movie, right? Like it's like, oh, you have to sacrifice.
The virginal final girl has to be the one to save from the big bad. Like
there's a third Rocky. There's a sequel to like Rocky Horror Picture Show and Shock Treatment. There's a third one for the only one, the only way they can bring back Frankenfurter from because they find him like in a grave. The only way to bring him back is like this whole ritual that involves the blood of a virgin, and this girl sacrifices herself, but it turns out she's not a virgin, so he comes back disfigured. And that's like the plot of like the third unmade Rocky Horror Picture Show movie. The script is like online.
Yeah, wow. Okay, that's a lot to unpack there.
Also, Rob and Penny Marshall are brother and sister playing husband and wife. In this
I thought about that when I was like, oh wait, okay, huh, interesting.
Yeah, and Kathy's dog was their dog in the movie.
Action going on there.
But I do. Okay, so I guess we're gonna be jumping around. That's fine. But like the scene. Like where the whole thing where they're running around trying to get him and like, oh, everyone's in costume and they're like, duped what? Into thinking that and then you see like a far too game Satan who's like, oh, these broads, what are they up to? Like one of them's like really hot. Let's get him in. Let's get some slow dances going on. Hilarious. That's the adult humor that we're talking about, right? Where it's like, oh, then the wife's mad at him. So, so you get like that interaction. You get that great thing with the remote. Where she's trying to like change, she's getting yelled at and she tries to change the channel. Great, hard relatable, by the way. When Mary does, I mean because all of it's like a very fish out of water, right? The whole thing is okay. They were centuries ago. They were
two separate fish out of water because the kid's
like also new kid in town, and fish out of water, and then.
On the block.
like someone from a different time. I mean, if you're talking about like just like your story tropes or whatever, right? Those are two things that are. But I think a lot of it works in a way that in a more self-aware time period, it kind of wouldn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it'd have to be like some sort of like meta commentary and this and that, whatever. And I mean, just small things like when they go to the road and like, oh, it's a river. Oh, it's a frozen river or whatever. And it's like, no, it's a road. Because of course they haven't seen pavement. They're from like the 1700s. Come on, how they have seen it.
Yeah, it's so funny to me that they knew, like, that the townspeople knew that they were witches and they didn't do anything about them beforehand. Like,
yeah.
Different times.
By the way,
Different times.
So the joke with the I want, before we get too far away from this, the joke with the devil guy who's like, really like three women just kind of come into his house and completely like distract him in front of his wife. The joke behind that is that's Gary Marshall, who's the guy that made Happy Days, The Odd Couple, Lucy Show, and Dick Van Dyke. He's like,
it's Penny Marshall, his cousin. That's
who did Mork and Mindy.
Yeah,
and
but it's funny that like it's funny that like one of the most adult.
Yeah.
No, but like one of the most adult jokes in the entire movie is the guy that kind of famously made like Happy Days is something that in a very cynical time.
American sitcoms, and he's a pervert.
Worth noting that Penny Marshall directed films as well, not least of which includes A League of Their Own.
That's a good one. So sports month extravaganza. We'll get to it, guys.
Big as well, which is notable. And Penny Marshall's
also,
a gifted director.
Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
The man behind Pretty Woman.
So, and also notable, since I'm not sure when the heck talking about Gary Marshall is going to come up naturally on the show anytime soon. Worth noting that the bass player for the legendary New York bass band Chavez, Scott Marshall, is Gary Marshall's son.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Nice.
I think that bit's very funny. I think it's funny that like the points of this movie that I think are the funniest are kind of back to back to back. It's the bus driver scene and then the fake cop. And it's like all it's all done as like this one bit as soon as they're kind of back in this world or back in this timeline in the 90s. It's like bop bop bop, and you get like the three funniest bits in the entire
that's when the strongest.
Really
I think when the strongest writing is. I mean, agreed, and that's that's something where. And again, it being very much like a family movie, but it's like, okay, there's some jokes for the adults.
A little sexual innuendos.
But at the bus driver one, can we just say, talk about different times? Like that character would not. I mean, like that character is like a lawsuit waiting to happen, right? I mean, he's just.
Yeah, they don't know. They don't know. You know what's interesting about like when it came to casting, like Rosie O'Donnell didn't want to play a mean witch, which is hilarious. I'm like. But also too, I've always been a Rosie O'Donnell defender because she was always ahead of the curve when it came to stuff happening in our culture, like with Britney Spears and being very respectful, whatever. Always loved her. But I think I read that Bette Midler was hesitant to take on this role because she's like, I want to sing. Like she's
and then they changed the script, so she's the only person because they were going through all these people and they were trying to. It was like a 8-year period or something, and they were trying to go through all these people, and all these people were like, I don't really get this. I don't really want to be part of this like witch trio that comes back. And finally, the person that said like, fine, I'll do it is Bette Midler, and because of that, they had to start changing the script. And so they changed
that mutated version of "I Put a Spell on You." That like just was sort of like, all right, they're doing a song and dance. There's backup vocals they know. Like, I mean, I guess it's magic.
I'm like,
but okay.
I'm like, how they know this song? I guess maybe they couldn't mind. But yeah, screaming.
As someone about to convene a band to go practice, I was pretty jealous. I'm like, they just know it, Jesus.
Okay, cool. Also, shout out to that song. That's from basically The Godfather, Shock Rock, Screaming
Jay Hawkins, who had one of the most prodigious amount of illegitimate children in all of music, to the point that there was a Bastard Children of Screamin' Jay website for years. I don't know if it's still around. That basically just like outlined all of them, and it was amazing. Screamin' Jay Hawkins, big fan, but yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah,
he got around.
Staple. Yeah,
he got around.
I mean, but the use of that song makes sense.
He did the African horns like the tribal horns on
Yeah,
TV
yeah, yeah.
whenever he performed.
Yeah.
Well, not just on TV, in the actual live show too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's funny though? I feel like that song though, I Put a Spell on You, is like the perfect song to sing in this case, considering they're just basically put a spell on the whole party. All the adults dance until they die.
It's a grand tradition of the musical where they're telling you what's happening in the musical while they're singing about it, right? What's funny is Screaming Jay has plenty more songs, but that's the one that it's Nina Simone's covered it. Marilyn Manson covered it. I mean, it's been covered so many times.
I mean, you got to give Screaming Jay if you're a shock rocker. I mean, he's the guy that started it. And people don't give him enough credit. Like a black artist did that. Like he set the tone for many other artists. Even Ozzy Osbourne.
Well, Alice Cooper did. Alice Cooper gave him credit, but
didn't he throw a chicken into the?
Well, I mean, Alice Cooper's its own. Its own thing, but absolutely. I mean, Annie Lennox, covered "I Put a Spell on You." Brian Ferry.
Oh God!
I mean, Nina Simone, one of the greatest.
That's
she.
Yeah.
Did you hear when I said that was the first one I said?
Oh, yeah. I didn't.
Well, also too is that it could be interpreted in different ways depending on how you cover it, like a slow, sexy, or upbeat or frantic. Like it's a good song that you could do so many different versions of. Even the kind that you hate, Conan, where it's like slow down.
I hate it because it's just overdone. Everybody just does it as if that's the only type of music you can do in a preview, and it's hacky and terrible.
But Creedence Clearwater Revival covered it, and it sounds like a Creedence Clearwater Revival song, right? And compliment intended. I love Creedence Clearwater Revival, but that just goes to show you the salience of that song.
Yeah, exactly. But
so we're gonna talk about the bus driver, or no? We just pivoted it over. I mean, I think it has to be addressed, right? It's crazily. I think it's the most glaring thing in the movie of just oh, geez, okay.
She's just sitting on his lap, beep beeping. He's like, well, yeah. I'm like,
and runs over Thackeray Biggs too.
And we all thought he dies, and it's like, oh God. But then I'm like, wait a minute, he can't die for now.
Yeah, but that's how we see, rather than being told, that's how we see that he can't die.
Yeah.
Right? Which is, but it is funny that it's she's, it's a very inappropriate bus ride. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, especially considering Sarah Jessica Parker's the one with all the cleavage being shown in her costume. So
Thackeray
bounce
but Thackeray Binks very quickly says oh, by the way, I can't die. But it's part of his spiel where he's like, I'm a talking cat, blah, blah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, everyone's like, yo, that cat is talking.
Yeah.
So, and
what'd he say? I don't know, but he's talking.
He does the Conan where he's like, I told you guys I can't die, and it's
and they're like,
in the middle of,
but we were still in shock about the talking cat. So sorry, our bad. Also, I'm a child.
Yeah. A lot of girls had the hots for Sean Murray as Thackeray, and it's funny because a lot of people are like, "Why does he look familiar?" I'm like, "He's on NCIS."
I hope you mean teenage.
Yeah,
girls
as adults. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that too. That would work.
All the teenage girls who watched Hocus Pocus for the plot, and I'm like, yeah, because whatever.
I'm watching
the plot, aka the least important thing about the entire movie,
aka Sarah Jessica Parker, the plot.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Her run after this was intense. I mean, Mars Attacks, Ed Wood, becoming a Tim Burton.
I forgot she was in Ed Wood.
Yeah. She's kind of became one of. I mean, Tim Burton kind of just. I think Beautiful Women catch his eye, and then he starts making movies around them. But
him and Monica broke up, and I'm sad about that.
Yeah, but and then Sex in the City, and it's which every time I think of Sex in the City, I think of Sam Cedar with the. The bulimic guy.
My mom was watching Sex in the City. She was like, Kristina, come in here. I'm like, what? She's like, is that Sam Cedar? I'm like, yeah. And also, I remember I remember on Sam Could Have Been Somebody with Mark Maron. He said, this has helped me get girls in the past. Tell me I was on episode Sex in the City, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, the funny part of it is that after all that, Cynthia Nixon came on Majority Report and was when she was running for governor and was on there a bunch of times talking to Sam on Majority Report, and it was you guys were dating in Sex in the City.
Yeah.
But I think that there's an insane amount of artists that have covered I Put a Spell on You. It's the Animals, and then Beck. This Marilyn Manson, like it's just
Obviously.
I don't know. It feels like it is like of course.
It's like
Marilyn
it's become a novelty song for Halloween for sure, and I think that's why.
Well, and then also it's been recontextualized to be something more serious, which has like kind of a darker undertone as well, and that's one of the reasons why it works. It's interesting that it's kind of a lyrically remixed version because you don't really need to do that, but okay.
Yeah.
That's what they chose to do.
The original lyrics,
Yeah, I mean, sure, maybe like they didn't have to pay Screaming Jay Hawkins's 10,000 bastard children another like nickel because they changed one of the lines, but it is notable. It's interesting. Okay, can we just take it back?
He recorded the Feast of the Mau Mau, which is the Pascal is always talking about like the Mau Mau, the Kenyan uprising or whatever.
I mean, he sounds like that. This is what he sounds like.
Yeah, he does. He does. Yeah,
like I'm not making this up. Like he does, and like he would do this show, and it was like a big freaking nobody was doing that, and basically put together Howlin' Wolf plus Screaming Jay Hawkins, and you get both Captain Beefheart and Tom Waits. Ultimately, just with the better songs. Can we talk about how rotten these 1700s parents are as parents?
Yeah.
Like there's an angry mob. So they catch and hang the witches, by the way. Great that she gets in a couple digs before able to do that.
Should we go through it by scene almost? Because we
sure.
start here and then
we've been bouncing all around, but
so Thackeray Binks is okay.
No, but so catching the witches initially, right? And then getting them ready. Like there's the mob, and it's the mob mentality thing, right? Like they kind of I feel like it gets parodied. I feel like it gets very easily parodied that there really are these bloodthirsty mobs in the 16 and 1700s that are putting these women up on things and being hang them. Which there's so many places in the world that even in the 1900s still kind of did that.
Actually, Bailey Sarian just did a Dark History episode on her pod about some of the witches and mediums. Apparently the last witch trial to happen was in 1945, which is ridiculous.
I mean, probably in America, but they were still going on in the deep heart of Africa, even into the 1970s and 1980s. They were still doing these elaborate witch trials, which it's a great way to
sacrifices and stuff because they even did weird human sacrifices when there was an earthquake or whatever. There's a weird
it's the same thing as
down.
It's the same thing as when they go to somewhere and they're where are the terrorists, and then the person in your neighborhood that you that you don't like, or that's your rival in your neighborhood, right? You're oh, that guy's the terrorist. And it's the same thing, I think, especially in Southern Africa, because I was just listening to the Blowback, the new season, and the new season's about the Congo, Zaire, and then all of these different interrelated Nambia, all these different interrelated revolutions. A big part of the revolutionary thing is witch trials, pretty much. And it's you could just kind of offer up your neighbor or something and be my neighbor is really fucking annoying. That's a witch.
Well, it's family, in the Crucible, Tituba, who was a real person who was a slave. She grew up hearing these types of stories, so she was able to tell the people at Salem Sarah Proctor was definitely a witch. I saw her do this and that and that and that, and no one ever heard about whatever happened to Tituba after the trials. She just disappeared. We don't know what happened.
Didn't Giles Corey come up last episode too? I feel like we did we talk about the Crucible last episode, or am I just remembering things wrong? Okay. I mean, I guess it makes sense. Yeah, thinking about what it is.
This month.
Yeah, I mean, it's witches month, so I guess it's going to happen.
I was surprised we didn't do the Crucible, but that's anyway.
So they okay, you want to finish that, whatever that point is, you want to finish that?
Obviously having the story take place in Salem, Massachusetts just makes the most sense considering its history with witches. Yeah.
And they said it. They do.
Legend.
So on that, they do a pretty good job of doing the new kid in town thing, where they explain that where, you know, he doesn't care, but like, witches, what's all this, like, why are you guys so worked up about witches? Because he doesn't know, because he's not from there, he hasn't like grown up around it, right? So you get that set up in such a way that even if you don't know, like say you're a kid and maybe they haven't gotten into the Salem witch trials at your grade school yet, you know, then like you get some frame of references for that. What I find interesting though, and I guess you could call it a bit of a plot hole, is that like when the angry mob, you know, they show up, they're too late to save Emily and Thackeray, but they catch and hang them, but they don't think about the candle, and then they set it up as a tourist trap, where it's like, okay, maybe don't, like, I mean, what?
Yeah,
like I get it, people were less educated on the supernatural, but I mean, which we'll get into next week, big time.
Told the townspeople what would happen. Like we have
they said it. They told them.
Destroy it.
Yeah, get the
Don't
candle. Don't just
it.
Go like, you know, bury it in a well or something. I mean, like, it's just kind of funny that, like, I guess you have to just buy into the story for it, and also just be like, okay, if this is like, yeah, well, it's not even the 1700s, it's like the 1600s, right? So
yeah,
people were just not as thoughtful about that kind of
1693 apparently in Salem, Massachusetts.
Oh, 300 years, right? Okay, that's right.
Yeah,
300 years.
No, but I mean, it's also like, you know, it's the thing about like. I'm sure at least Conan, you've been to like Salem, like, or at least around there, like they still have all the stuff preserved from, you know, from the witch trials, or like from that point of time. So it's like all of that stuff is basically turned into a tourist trap, which makes sense because, like, you know, why else would you be going to Salem? Like,
right? Yeah, exactly. It's the one thing it's known for.
Well, it's
right?
like going to Charleston. It's like the slave trade of the South.
Yeah.
You know, everyone goes down there to do the tours there, and I'm like, this is kind of weird, but okay.
but it just hammers home into the adults are useless trope, right? Because it's true in 1993 as well, because they try to get help from the parents and the partygoers, and everyone's like, oh yeah, haha, great prank. Oh yeah, cool. They're dressed up as the witches. Haha, awesome. Let's dance. You know, and it's just over and over again. The police officer who just clowns on him for being, or playing the part of a police officer guy just berates them. You know,
I feel like that
know
guy.
The story. They know the legends, but they still think it's like all pretend and, you know, just urban legends and blah blah blah.
I feel like that guy had to be like, the joke had to be that he was like the town degenerate or something, like
right.
Because he has like the hooker. He has like the hooker like woman behind him, pretty
girlfriend.
Much. But it's like he's it's just such a good like trope of like just a guy that kind of looks like a cop. You can walk up and be like, "You kids, you're a virgin," you say. And it's like, damn, you got roasted by like the town. You got roasted by like the town coke dealer or something. That's like,
the town gigolo. Sure. There are a few things, and I'm not saying that anyone's running around trying to get context for Hocus Pocus 1983, but there are some interesting things that so Winnie's a spell book, which is not the Necronomicon, everyone. The Necronomicon is a grimoire. Grimoires are not the Necronomicon. So just let's get that out of the way right now. Like it's a book bound in human flesh that written in blood. It's a grimoire, but it's not the Necronomicon
I bet you
specifically.
that's Doug Jones's eye.
Sure, probably, who knows?
So characters.
In the world's logic, the spell book either belongs or once belonged to Satan, right?
Yeah.
And it's value to them because within it they can change things to be whatever they want it to be. So it's like basically the ultimate evil weapon because the spells change. Okay,
but they keep losing it.
But they keep losing it over and over and over again. Yeah, which is hilarious. I think it does a good job with the salt stuff being integrated, which the whole like
so
like burning their skin.
Yeah, kind of like, you gotta let vampires in, but salt also protects
Circle of
you
salt.
from witches. Or graveyards being like they can't, actually touch foot on a graveyard, but like they can like fly around.
And which is one of those classic like just old superstition things. Like you can throw salt over your shoulder. Like it's like, oh, what's going to happen? And it's like, well, you have to kind of create a thing around it where it's like, well, then the vampires and the witches can't get you. And it's like, all right, I guess. Like,
well, and that's
for vampires,
and that's a good scene for the Vanessa Shaw character where she's like, "Oh, your white witch magic, blah blah blah." But like it's something where you get that like, they're not just helplessly running around, basically, which is helpful. And of course, the conceit, and you mentioned spoilers for weapons. Everybody, that the idea is that the witches consume enough children, they'll basically be immortal. So that's like the whole idea behind it. And then it's hilarious too that the Thackeray is not technically immortal, but has some insane amount of like life to him that basically is functionally immortal, right?
His soul is trapped.
That's because the Bernie Sanderson sisters, they redistributed
life.
As long as the witches are not completely dead.
Yeah.
His soul is trapped as a black cat.
Which is sort of like, you don't need to do that, but it's just like, we're just evildoers who love doing evil, so we're gonna do that.
Yep.
Like it would make way more sense just to kill him, but it's like, hey, we're gonna.
Well, no. See, the thing I liked is it's like a perfect kind of children's story thing where it's like, you were sleeping, your sister got out. Your sister ran over to the witches. Your sister got killed by the witches, and then the witches leave you to feel like for however long they're alive, like to feel guilt, to wander the world. But I'm saying like to wander the world for however long they're alive, like tied to them, like feeling guilt about the fact that you're the one that let your sister, run away and run into like the witch's hut.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, well, Stu, if Sarah Jessica Parker was singing in that very soft voice of hers, I totally would walk over and be like, okay, let's go.
Yeah. I'm ready. Let's ride.
The sweet.
Got room on that broom? Let's go, baby. Yeah. Sorry.
Or vacuum. Oh no, wait, that's
the vacuum is a good. I feel like that was in the Simpsons video game is where I first saw that, but I can't remember if that came before this or not.
A little funny, in the sequel, she actually rides Roombas.
Nice.
Instead of a vacuum.
There's by the way, she recently went on the Adam Freeland show, Sarah Jessica Parker, and she seems like the sweetest human being you've ever.
She does seem really cool.
She was talking to Adam Freeland, like
even though her husband killed someone, it's fine.
She was like giving Adam Freeland like girl advice and like talking to him and like acting like a mom, and I was like, damn, she's really sweet. I feel bad about being as horny as I am in this watching this movie. Like Sarah Jessica Parker.
Well, like it was funny too because she guest starred on Glee. She was supposed to be like a Devil's Wear Prada, like Meryl Streep, but she ended up being like the nicest person to Kurt ever. And it's like, I'm like, yeah, Sarah Jessica Parker just can't really play a bitch. She just seems like a nice.
But okay, so that, believe it or not, I don't know how, but that ties into a point I wanted to make that. Okay, so we got the Winifred's evil and scheming, but Sarah and Mary are basically either dumb or harmless, more or less, right? Maybe less so when she's guiding all the children away. But like, as much as Mary keeps talking about like eating the children, whatever, she never does it. She never does it.
I smell children.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats in Springfield.
But that comes back to the whole. That comes back to like the Three Stooges of it all, right? Like the Three Stooges have to have the mode to organize everything. So in this case, the evil that they're doing is all organized by Winifred, which is the Bette Midler character.
Yeah. Well, also too, Bette Midler based Winifred off of The Wicked Witch of the West and
I can see that.
Angelica Houston in Witches.
Right.
Which makes you see it in her performance.
Yeah. She's also got the Larry. She's got the Larry hair, in this because she has her.
She's got Larry Fine hair. Yeah, you're right.
It really is like the Three Stooges.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that like the trope works because there's always like kind of like the dumb kind of henchman, right? And that's like the sister that was in Mary that was in Sister Act. And then there's kind of the one that like might be harmless, but is also incredibly like her voice is the thing that draws the children. So like that makes her like a terrifying presence at the same time as being like a relatively sweet kind of person. You see that from the very beginning where
what did you do? And she's like, I brought the child in here.
Yeah, and it's like but it's like that's almost like when you have like somebody that's talking about like birds or something, right? Like there's birds that have like a very sweet song, but then like like you could create a terrifying looking bird or something. Like
can we do it? Does it ever get into what happened to their brooms? I mean, those kids take off with them, but like what they have to replace them with like the modern broom, the mop, and the vacuum cleaner, right?
Yeah,
but like what happens to them?
Because those
is that the sequel?
Those kids running around girls, which they should have done that. Those little girls,
that would be a way better movie, yeah.
Who were dressed up as them too, by the way.
Yeah,
those girls were dressed, and they went off with the brooms, and it's like, what happened?
What happened? They just like they got
brooms. You think that they would go
That's
after
great.
those girls? You think that
I
they'd
know,
be
because you
like,
can
hey,
see it
find
flying
'em.
in the sky.
See, but Forrest, they didn't have air tags yet. They got to air tag those brooms.
I do
we
like
lost
that.
the brooms.
I need a low jack for my broom. Low jack,
I just
everybody.
think-
Thank you.
I just think it's funny that this is one night and yet they were able to catch up with like 300 years of like diet, like pull over, let me see your driver's license.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Oh,
Which is
yeah,
one of
that's
the
just-
plot hole that like people on
I'm like,
people
what
on
the
Reddit love
how
to point
did she
out.
know
Like,
this?
yeah,
Yeah.
people on Reddit love to point out, being like, yeah, how did she know that? How'd she know what a driver's license is? She's been asleep for 300 years. But maybe they had Google during that whole time on their phone.
No,
They're like,
Google
"Ah,
wasn't a
man."
thing back then. Maybe that bus driver educated them. I don't know.
No, Google wasn't a thing in 1693 and 19.
He was busy trying to do something. I don't think he was educating.
Yeah.
But
Also
yeah, I
have-
mean,
Did we
yeah.
know the actress Vanessa Saul? She looks a lot like Hilary Swank to me. When I first saw the movie,
I thought that as well. Yeah, she's
I was like, is that Hilary Swank?
she's Domino in Eyes Wide Shut. That's probably her most well-known movie, and she's in
Yeah.
310 to Yuma, which is good. And I think she's in the remake of Hills Have Eyes. But this is definitely the first one I've seen. The 310 to Yuma that Mangold made, by the way. This is one time.
Yeah,
With
and
Peter
also
Fonda and Russell
Thora
Crowe and
Birch.
Christian Bale. Well, Thora
It's
Birch.
funny
Yeah, I
to me-
mean, yeah.
Well,
go
it's
ahead.
funny too because Christina Ricci did Addams Family and did Casper, but
yeah.
her and Thora Birch were in Now and Then together as a younger versions of Melanie Griffin and Rosie O'Donnell. That was a good coming of age movie in the 90s as well. So like you can see like a lot of some of these folks are really just like they do a lot of like horror spooky s type of like almost like being like a genre actor.
Yeah. Yeah,
her-
and,
like,
Like,
I mean-
American Beauty.
well,
the way that her body is in Eyes Wide Shut is like terrifying. Like as like the kind of like the centerpiece of their entire child trafficking ritual or whatever. Like that is like that is.
Oh,
like
you're
one
talking
of
about the
those
Vanessa Shaw
classic, like-
character, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's and then everybody. So then back to Thora Birch. Yeah, American Beauty. Talk about things that haven't aged well.
Starring nobody.
Yeah, exactly. Starring nobody.
Did not win an Oscar.
Talking about problematic movie, and then most notably for me, Ghost World. I think that was an incredible role that she was
Yeah,
in. But
Which
at
we-
the
which
time
we've covered
this
on
very
the show.
and that was one of Scarlett Johansson's first roles, and she was objectively less famous than Thora Birch at the time, which is crazy how that all works out. But
Yeah, well,
and still holds up. Saw it recently.
Yeah.
Thora Birch is one of those people that kind of I think had a little bit of like a crisis where they had to like walk away from acting and it like got to be too much, which is 100% understandable. If you start as like a child star, you want to have some moment in your life of like peace and like start a family and like not be like consistently in the spotlight and like walking runways that way. But she had she had a time period where she took a break from acting completely and like went to live in relative obscurity and then came back.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she's part of a cult classic that airs that's very popular every year now on Halloween. And again, it just it was just the thing that 31 Nights of Halloween on ABC or Freeform or whatever it calls itself now, Disney Channel. I do appreciate that. It had to have taken a while, obviously, for the cast to appreciate the movie, considering it wasn't a hit at first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. It's funny because for a long time, like there's all these interviews of Bette Midler where she's like, my favorite role that I've ever played was Winifred Sanderson, but she's like, I don't think that many people have seen that movie. Like this is before 2018 when it really took off and like people started writing articles and think pieces about Hocus Pocus. They started talking about a sequel, but she would be like, yeah, that was my favorite role because I was able to like disappear, I guess, completely into this character and like I wasn't like Bette Midler playing this role. I was like. Because she's so famous as herself.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like the First Wives Club or Beaches. The Wind Beneath My Wings.
I really like the idea though of her and Rosie O'Donnell. And then there's like it would be Trump's least favorite movie, and he's sitting there and he's getting so bad. Like every Halloween,
Focus.
Trump's just in like the worst mood of his life, and they're like, no, don't mention Hocus Pocus to the president. He just keeps
'cause
watching it every year.
Because Bette Midler said something really terrible about him. If I remember, and I was like, "Damn, girl."
Well, having nothing to do with that. It's wild that this Disney movie starts off with it kicks off with the abduction and murder of a child. Like out of the gate,
in a terrifying way. Like that's why I said like in the thing, like I'm sure no child has ever like draining the life force, and the child just slumps over, and it's like it's one of those things out of like a horror movie that like you have a kid that just slumps over forward, and it's like fuck, like that kid had her like soul sucked out of her by
They dead. It's just such a common trope, sucking the life force out of someone pure, young, innocent.
Yeah.
And it's always a fucking child, and that's why you start the whole, QAnon adrenochrome nonsense, and it's like, Jesus Christ, people, that's not what's happening here, but like, it's just interesting how people will take plots from movies and be like, this was inspired from real life events, and I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Oh,
what?
God.
Wait, about this movie?
Yes. People think, like, one of the reasons why I don't like Eyes Wide Shut.
I disassociated for a second. I didn't know that was a thing. Okay.
Like, part of the reason why I don't like Eyes Wide Shut is that it made people think that this shit happens. Like I'm like, yeah, sex party, but like the satanic, like, aspect of it all. I'm like,
it didn't cause that. That was happening for like decades before that.
Yeah, but
you understand culture existed before 2000, right? No, that's wrong. That's just like.
But why? Every video I see where they they always use clips of Eyes Wide Shut, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, people. Seriously?
Well, so they had a visual to go with it, but all the freaking early Alex Jones stuff, like Illuminati. That all existed for like decades. It just happened to be that it wasn't shown in a movie.
Bohemian Grove. That's like the thing.
Bohemian Grove. Yeah.
Well, people started going to Bohemian Grove. Like Alex Jones managed to break into Bohemian
Grove.
Well,
he managed to get in because of John Ronson. He tagged along with John Ronson and stole the story and based his entire early identity on it. And he was the tag along for that, by the way. Because John Ronson was doing a book about conspiracies called Them, which is great. It's a great book.
Which I've said the story before, but when I was in Austin, or when I was in when I was in San Antonio, there was this guy who had gone as a piano. This is when we were covering Eyes Wide Shut. Like I watched Eyes Wide Shut, and then that same day I went to dinner with my ex-girlfriend. Knew this guy in San Antonio that had put his house up and like was letting people stay there on couches or whatever, and like she had gone there for some like early version of like an Airbnb kind of thing that like didn't take off. And the guy had gone to Bohemian Grove because his like cousin was like this famous jazz player. So he got to go sit there at the bar at Bohemian Grove while his cousin played piano. And this guy just happened to be telling me the story about it and like all the people that he saw. And one of them was Malcolm McDowell for some reason. He was telling me that he was sitting next to Malcolm McDowell at the bar and they were having like this weird back and forth before Malcolm McDowell like just disappeared. But like I was watching Eyes Wide Shut, and the story sounded just like Tom Cruise, like and like his friend that fucking directed Tar, like.
Yeah,
but I do like that. With Hocus Pocus, we're ending weapons with like a very kind of a similar plot.
Yeah.
The plot is very similar.
And it's hard for a movie that's still new. You want to be mindful of spoilers and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, it is. And sorry if that gets spoiled because you watched an episode of a movie show that's reviewing the 1993 film Hocus Pocus. I don't know what to tell you. just like if you thought the Illuminati was somehow created by Eyes Wide Shut. I don't know what to tell you either. But
that's not what I'm saying.
I did wonder like why I found the image of those kids in weapons just kind of walking like that,
kind of
just
arresting.
Walking forward with so yeah, I mean like just completely creepy, like why it kind of awakens and like that. Then watching Hocus Pocus again because I think I watched it like in school when they used to have like the substitute teacher come in during like there was this movie, there was Casper, and there was like Addams Family Values around like October or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was wondering, like, in my head, like, why do I find that image so specifically creepy? And it's like that image is in this movie too, as as they're luring the children away.
There is. So that's Sarah's thing. So I wanted to get into that because, again, I mentioned earlier that Winifred's the only one that seems to be outwardly evil, like evildoer that loves doing evil kind of situation. You see, well, first of all, Sarah makes lots of deeply inappropriate comments all over the place that, of course, being that she is who she is and looks the way she looks, most guys would just say, hell yeah. But, like, these are children, right? And then you see even at the beginning, she draws Emily in with her song, and she does the same thing with all the children in Salem. So she appears to be harmless, right? Like, she appears to be just like this ditz, this, like, Winifred's punching bag, et cetera, et cetera. But it's like, no, she's actually got like this power and uses it for evil. She just happens to be like relatively innocuous and kind of mostly harmless most of the time.
And also to Mary is, I smell children. Like, her thing is she actually can smell children. So, she actually has the power to be like,
especially in the 1600s. It's not like they bathed or anything.
Oh.
Yeah, but even in 93, you think those kids didn't have bathtubs in 93? Forrest, come on now.
You're so used to kids smelling that then you're like, oh, I can smell the Irish Spring from here. I can smell the body.
Like,
the
they
body
each have like a set of skill that contributes to the one thing, which is bringing children in, sucking their life force, remaining young or younger. In their case, I mean, boys will love me, I love how Kathy does the thing like with her lips.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Where it almost looks like she has like a like there's something wrong with her or something. Yeah.
I like in the beginning that I wish this came back around because it doesn't really. But I like in the beginning that they set up like kind of an antagonism between the three sisters, where it's like Winifred is like, oh, that's my life. I mean, our life force. And I do wish that at the end of it, they kind of brought that a little bit more back around, where it's like she's like the most self-centered one of the three of them, and then they're all kind of like, I wish they were all kind of fighting over the kid at the end or something like that. Like, I feel like
look at Billy, Winifred's lover, that cheated on her with their, like, you
whoa, Robert Loggia.
You punish the guy, but not your
Billy.
sister for, I'm assuming seducing your man, Winifred.
Yeah.
Like, come on now. Also, shout out to Doug Jones.
Because I think the sister is this complete kind of childlike idiot in a way, where men are drawn to her, and then there's like the one bus driver that's like, she's like, oh, that would hate me in the morning, and he's like,
yeah, that's
but
it's strongly implied. She's like, no, I think you would like, and it's so strongly implied that like she's darker maybe than we initially give her credit for, which I think is good.
Yeah.
I think that's a good.
But it's also like this. But it also feels like she's constantly kind of trying to drag men away from the sister, right? Like with either the ex-boyfriend that she had to kill, or with with the bus driver, where it's like the sister is this almost like siren figure that's constantly.
Well, she is very much siren figure. Yeah, absolutely. And so that harkens back to the earlier point of it being hollow ground, like the cemetery's hollow ground. So it's like, oh, well, I'll just raise our ex-boyfriend, which the whole conceit of which is that, like, he's had his mouth sewn shut, so he's all, and then like he finally, at last I get to have my say,
Which there's I mean, there's such great body acting from that, from the ex-boyfriend corpse, where you can tell the entire time he's because he's bristling at the first Sarah's like, hi, like, does a little flirty wave, and he's like, and then like Winifred's like, go after them, and then he's like,
and that's almost a full movie of setup. That you're friendly. Okay, at some point he's going to be able to speak his mind, and it's going to be funny, right? And it's going to be what you expect.
And again, Doug Jones is known for playing like these characters. He was in The Shape of Water. He played the Baron in What We Do in the Shadows. He's known for being like, okay, we need someone to play like a scary guy who could do his own stunts, looks creepy, and it's not. He's that guy. He's that guy.
Right. Yeah, and like
for decades.
And there's some good Return of the Living Dead style gags, like when he's the drives over the manhole cover and he loses the fingers. You know, that's good. That's fun.
Yeah, I was definitely thinking about Return of the Living Dead, like rewatching this, but then like you know, as like the bite obviously is, you know, no pun intended, completely taken out of this one, with you know with the kind of the adult humor that's like so grotesque in the Return of the Living Dead, and obviously you can't do that in like a Disney movie. But that is like another movie that invoked for me.
Yeah.
It's notable. I think it can't be an accident, right? So
no, you got when you're doing like a zombie thing, you got to do like, you know, Night of the Living Dead callbacks, obviously, because that's like really the film that kind of really started like the main tropes.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about like Return of the Living Dead though, like, you know, the one we talked about with Matt Bender.
Yeah, I know.
The one where like every limb moves on its own. You know, exactly.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So we get so there's the chase. There's the chase. There's the cat. Like it all follows very familiar story beats, right? Like and there's, first of all, there's foreshadowing up the wazoo, right? Like from the very beginning, it's just like it's not even trying.
Like, take care of your sister, kid.
yeah. Oh, you know what is it? Oh, look, another glorious morning makes me sick. You know, great.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so they don't like the sunlight, huh? All right, okay.
Yeah. Hey, I don't blame them.
All right. Yeah, I mean,
now.
relatable. I mean, it's overrated, frankly.
As a kid, you're like, wow, it doesn't like the sunlight. And then what's that? And then as an adult, you're like, I get it, sister.
That daylight savings time bit was kind of funny though. Not
oh yeah, it's great. One of the best uses of daylight saving time in a serious motion picture for sure. Can we just talk about how we briefly did before we danced off to 17 different topics that Max gets called out for being a virgin? I want to say like, I don't know, a dozen times, like a notable amount of times, right?
There's a YouTube video that's just called Every Time Max is Called a Virgin.
Was it like 3 hours long?
It's longer than the movie, somehow.
His little sister, a virgin, lit the candle.
That's where
he's getting lit up by his little sister.
Yeah, that's where I got the cut of him saying, if a virgin lights the candle, and then she's like, a virgin lit that candle.
Yeah. I just think it's funny, like, again, stupid kid that, you know, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. In this case, you know, I mean, this is what happens when you, I mean, it's like every state or every county or whatever has their own legend. Like in New Jersey, we got the Jersey Devil. You know, we still see sightings of it here every now and again. I mean, apparently the house that it was born in is still around in the Pine Barrens. You know, like there's always that lore, and people always want to believe. But with Salem, it's different because it has centuries of history when it comes to witches. You know, and so with Max moving from California, like California, besides celebrity haunted houses, there's really nothing too spooky about like LA, like besides like old Hollywood and haunted, houses.
Me too would say otherwise, but yeah.
Oh, hello there.
No, yeah, but as far as like a supernatural, there's not like a local supernatural creature or whatever. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. The caveat to that, of course, would be Northern California, Bigfoot. But
yeah, but that's
that's Humboldt County, and that's like it's a very specific part. Go ahead.
This is
that video was
this
not
is like
real.
a lithograph of like the story behind one of the Salem witch trials, and they have the lightning the same as in this movie, where Winifred Sanderson is able to basically Palpatine anybody that like
she's basically Palpatine people. You're right.
Yeah.
Somehow Winifred Sanderson returned.
Is that how they open up the second one? That'd be amazing.
Yes.
I would give it 5 stars reflexively if they opened it that way.
But you know what's so funny? How they come up with a plot. They think, here's the thing. Why did they think they would have gotten them in the oven? Because there's also that alluding to that's
a Hansel and Gretel
thing. Yeah. I'm like, but their smoke is still up in the air.
It was really hard to watch that part of it after watching one battle after another, like pretty much days back to back, because I like the image of I guess I'm spoiling it. The image of Sean Penn in the oven really like fucked me up. like for the rest of the night, and then I had to go on Power Report with Dan. Literally an hour after I got back from the movies, I went on Power Report with Dan, and like my head was still like my brain felt scrambled the entire time I'm talking because just like the images from one battle after another were, yeah.
And now Taylor Swift ruined anyone's chances of seeing the movie now because her stupid lyric thing took over the show.
It's a huge hit. It's going to be fine. One battle after another is going to do just fine. Like there's a lot of movies that we need to advocate for. I think One Battle After Another is going to do just fine.
One Swiftie after another.
There it is. Okay, good, solid.
I do like the nod to like him like narrating, with the like the in the principal's office with the announcement, like thinking like he's like Boris Karloff's son or something like that.
Yeah,
and it's also like
as if they would know who he was.
It's very like almost like a fair kind of, right? Like he's doing like step right up, like we're going to win some prizes. Like he's doing those two bits at the same time as he's leading them into the Sean Penn oven.
Well, yeah, we're not even going to begin to unpack that movie until I'm sure we'll do it later on. I think it's great. It's a great movie, by the way. I think that we mentioned the song that with the "I Put a Spell on You" number, right? That's at the dance
party,
which actually is a spell that's being put on people. So people are singing along as they participate in the spell,
dancing till whatever. I like the end credits where they're walking out and they're all so sweaty. Oh my god.
Well, yeah. So that's why
you tried dancing for like 6-7 hours.
That's what I was saying. That as a stinger post credits, where they're like, what does he say? Like, I thought LA was a party town, or whatever. What is this like?
Hey, Salem on Halloween.
Because it is sort of like a hanging plot point that you left them at the dance, and they're all just they're under a spell. They're like all just like dancing until they drop, presumably, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because it's something like where that could be set up. The setup could be much darker if the situation was
similar to the actual plot of Snow White, where they give the wicked stepmother shoes to dance with, and she like burns herself to death dancing. Like that's the original plot of the ending for Snow White. If I remember.
Well, no, and I know Conan knows about this because of Saint Vitus, but there's the famous the dancing plague, which in Europe, and I'm sure that's referencing because
that was the whole thing in season 2 in Europe too.
Yeah, well, in Europe, there's this entire town of people that at least claim that they were dancing and dancing and dancing, and then people started dying because they literally couldn't stop dancing. At the time, they believed it was like a case of like demonic possession that had taken control of an entire town,
the
and
laughing plague,
where they can't stop dancing. So I wonder if it's definitely like a reference to that.
Absolutely. In the chat, they shoot horses, don't they? Which is a great movie with a very misleading title. So basically, it's during the Depression. There's a $1,500 cash prize for a dance contest, and so like a young Jane Fonda and Red Buttons and Susanna York, they're all basically in this dance contest, and it just goes on and on and on. It goes from like days to weeks and so on and so on. It's like the long walk with dancing.
Yeah, no treadmills here.
Which is crazy, but I feel like if they had called it, and this is like a 60s movie, right? So it's Sidney Pollack.
69.
69, yeah. I think if they had called it anything else, it probably would have been, like, has not been rediscovered by a modern generation, because people are like, what is that?
Well, it also
it should be like Dance Till You Drop or something. I know. Dance Till You Drop. Call.
It plays a pretty big part in the in the seminal boomer mythology of like the right wing turn that boomers had, which is that it came out the year after Jane Fonda went to Vietnam. So all of these all these young people were incredibly angry at Jane Fonda. We're coming up with all these puns about they shoot horses, don't they? And it was like this big it's not Clute, I guess, but it's.
I mean, I haven't seen it in a very long time, but it is interesting that it has a rare echelon of. I mean, that's very astute because it's a marathon it's a dance marathon, right? How many movies are about dance marathons? And that's basically what they're doing. Like, and it's played for laughs, but that could have, had that gone on multiple days, that would be.
They have that great "It's Always Sunny" episode where they're
where they're like
they shoot horses, don't
they have the weight.
Yeah.
And they're doing this to keep dancing. You're just standing there with like a keg, and you're just doing this.
Yeah.
This is not dancing.
That was they've done so many good like subtle like homages to things on that show.
There is a Facebook page where it's just that episode, clips from that episode with like, they're dancing to this song. They're dancing to that.
Is there really? Okay.
They have
that's funny.
They have a Twitter too. They have a Twitter with the same person, and they just put that song, and it's just different
that clip
people
and
dancing.
with
But it's like it's multiple dances from there, because it's like the one that they're doing like this, and then it's like the one they're doing like this, and they put it on two different songs.
It's so funny. I know we talk about how dumb the adults are, but the kids too, like don't.
Well, they're just useless. It's not that they're dumb; they're just useless. They don't do provide any value at all. They, it's crazy. It's like, and that's a trope for any kind of movie that centers kid heroes, right? Is that the adults aren't listening to the kids, right?
Yeah. But even the kids are like, Thackeray's like, don't open Winifred's book. Nothing good could happen from it. They're like, well, let's open this book and see.
Yeah, why don't we open it up? Why don't we see what happens? Yeah.
And then light.
Yeah.
I mean,
although
the ultimate.
Although him doing like the sprinklers and being like, it's the rain of death, and they're like, oh no, and they like run to the corner and which goes to the like guilelessness of it that would be too self-aware of comedy to do now, because they never fall for that. It's like they just woke up from a 300-year
so they
sleep
haven't
of being
seen
dead. They haven't
although
seen any of that stuff. Yeah,
that's the first thing that I would probably watch if I was a witch and I woke up for 300 years.
Yeah,
what do I need to know?
Movies about witches. I need to figure what's going on here.
And then I'd see Wicked on Broadway. I'd watch Wizard of Oz, and they go see Wicked on Broadway, and they'd be like, "Okay, the night's over," and they'd be like, "Fuck, I was supposed to get those kids' life essences."
I forgot all about it. I got so wrapped up in this great Broadway show. So Thora Birch's character. Can we just mention that? So the first time I heard the usage of the word yabos, for use of breasts was from Animal House. So that implies that this little girl has seen Animal House, which is somehow more horrifying than the witches that involved. But
it's in Clockwork Orange too, but it means like it's the balls.
That's better. This kid's seen Clockwork Orange, and that's better.
No, but he goes, "Oh, I got hit right in the yabos."
Yeah. So
and then they use it for breasting Animal House. Yeah. Somehow the second time this month we've invoked Animal House.
I know. Animal House and the Crucible. That's right. That's what you come to this show for. That's a clip. Clip that. That's if we're gonna make like a teaser or a bumper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. I'm marking it.
Come for the Crucible and
113
for Hocus Pocus.
Right.
Yeah, you're very excited. You're like, oh, the Crucible, Animal House, and then you're like, oh man, Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so we mentioned. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, then we gotta also point out that the witches. Well, Winifred's kind of dumb because she really wants Danny's life force. Yet they have all these kids coming to their house, and it's like.
Well, the witches are purposely like very, very stupid. But I mean, they have to be outsmarted by those kids. So it's like, how smart can you really make the witches?
Also, to Sarah remembering. Also, one thing when they're trying to remember the potion, Sarah remembers, dead man's toe, and they're like, no, it's not that. It's like she actually remembered, some of the key ingredients to make that potion to give to the kids, so you can suck their life force.
Yeah.
I'm sucking those kids' life force. No, but I actually do like the gag where it's like he sets off the sprinklers because he's like, because in his mind he's not from Salem, so he's like, witches don't like water because of the Wizard of Oz. So it's like he puts the water down on them, but then the way he says it, like he produces fire from his hand. I mean, with a lighter.
Yeah, and they've never seen like a Zippo lighter. Yeah.
So they're already like, and then they're like, he's like, this is the reign of death or something, and they're like,
oh shit, and then better run away.
I like they just straighten up and they're like, I feel quite refreshed. Actually, that was just water.
Yeah,
He doesn't tell them what it's gonna like.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be green for water to have an effect on you. Okay?
Yeah, because the paint starts to come off.
Or does it? We'll find out Wicked for Good.
There you go. Tune in this fall. Yeah, so I guess we've not talked about like the resolution for it, that like the binks of it, that first of all it's like
the binks of it
all. That you're like, oh shoot, he's dead, and it's like, oh no, he's just like gets to rejoin his sister, and they get to be in the graveyard.
Resting.
He's just resting. Yeah.
This is a dead parrot.
Thora Birch, kudos to her for having to cry twice, thinking it was dead the first time and then doing it again. It's like, bitch, no, girl, because her plan was, I'm gonna take care of you. I'm
gonna have this rad talking cat that I get to hang out with
for the rest of my life.
Yeah, great. And then my kids are gonna hang out with you and their kids, and like meanwhile, like Bink's like, oh my god, there's a lot of commitment, isn't it?
I don't want to be a fat, useless house cat.
Kill me.
Literally, Sanderson Sisters.
I mean, but like the way that because each kind of each of the characters kind of disappears in their own way. I mean, like you're left with like a stone statue of Winifred, but then I think it would
which is like, you think that might like stick out a little in the cemetery? Hey, where did this gigantic stone statue come from?
The Sanderson Sisters.
Yeah, it's already been. It's always been there. It's part of the museum piece. Okay,
but like I like that.
What? So why is she a statue and the other two like turn into like stardust?
Well, here's the thing. The statue does burst into flame. The statue.
That doesn't make it better though. Like, why is it a statue first? Why couldn't she just have burst into flame and skip the statue part?
I think because she wasn't in the.
Seems like a lot of work.
I don't think because maybe she wasn't in the air and directly into the sun. Maybe that's why, or she got some of the kid's life force. I don't know.
I feel like they just thought it would be boring if all of them did the same thing.
Maybe it's as easy as that. Yeah.
So maybe her shoes were caught on fire.
They turned her to like a reverse Medusa.
All right.
Yeah. Which they thought who Penny Marshall was.
Okay, and so in Hocus Pocus, 1993, it's explained that the witches couldn't set foot on hollow ground. This is why Winifred turns to stone before blowing up. Oh, okay. So when she touches the ground.
Oh, because she's on hollow ground. Yeah. Okay.
So she gets petrified because of that. Okay. Well, okay. Glad to see.
I didn't know they put that much thought into it, but
I really did.
Butthole film.
Yeah, but I just thought it was a massive plot. Like, I don't know, make him explode. Like, it's sort of like, what are we doing at this point, right?
But also, I do think it's nice that Max, he sacrifices himself and drinks the potion, and it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Well, he's the brother that Thackeray couldn't be, right? Thackeray wanted to sacrifice himself for his sister, and then they were like, let's make her feel guilty about it for the rest of his life.
Turn him into a cat.
Because everybody knows cats are the guiltiest animal.
Right.
Actually, cats don't give a fuck. Cats are the least guilty animal. I would have turned him into an animal that feels more shame than a cat.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Ooh,
a naked mole rat. And then he's
yeah.
That's cute for Halloween, Forrest.
But no, and then so I appreciate that they put that much thought into the whole thing. It is like, I feel like anything else I guess they did with the cat where he's on hollow ground and then he kind of fades away, it would be more traumatizing, but it's like it kind of is plenty traumatizing that you see, like,
it's kind of traumatizing to see like the cat's dead body, where it's just like, oh my god, and then you're like, no, it's chill, like I'm okay. Which he's not. He's dead. But like,
I would have probably put a rainbow and then let him like cross the rainbow or something, Like,
rainbow bridge.
Rainbow Run, man. That's what they do with it. But that's what happens when pets die. They cross the rainbow. Like, what the hell, rainbow bridge? No, okay.
Because otherwise, she's just seeing like she's like, I'm gonna keep this cat, and it's like it's a dead cat.
Yeah.
At least there wasn't like a body. She didn't have to like bury it, I guess.
Taxidermy, right? Yes. Anyone? No. Okay.
Yeah. Taxidermy.
Taxidermy.
Yeah, there you go. But I mean, it's a sweet.
Is that something? Do we have that? Is that good?
It's sweet that he does end up being with his sister in the end, and she's like, "I've been waiting for you," and he's like, "I had to wait 300 years for a virgin to lit a candle."
Yeah, he gets lit up at the end.
Two. Like, it's like they can't stop talking about I was a virgin. Like, why is everyone
it's
talking about Animal House? Everyone's. Okay. I haven't seen a movie this obsessed about virginity since National Lampoon's Animal House. Thank you.
Also, too.
It's American Pie level. Obsessed with.
He knows that if the witches could actually be revived and killed the right way, he could be reunited with his sister. But he's like, no, I have to guard this house every Halloween for about 300 years. And I was like, bitch, you chose to be a cat. You should have let a virgin light the candles centuries ago. What are you talking about? Then it would be a different movie. But I'm just saying.
Or 12 months later.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to anymore.
Yeah. Well,
but still, he was trying to stop them from doing it. He's like, which it's pretty funny that like she has the same power as Palpatine, but also a cat jumping on her stops her from doing anything.
And she remembered. Like it was on me.
Right.
That was only like yesterday, but like still.
She's like, my Force lightning can't work if there's a cat on me.
Everyone knows that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What? Nobody knows that. What are you talking about?
It's in the grimoire that you didn't read the grimoire?
Yeah. Come on, what are we doing here? Like, I don't read it. I just cast spells from it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We have an episode about the new Superman movie. It's
it's great.
I'll find the episode number.
It wasn't even that long ago. It was like
episode 287.
Yeah, which I was saying we should bump that one since it's now out for streaming. I thought that was a really good episode. I mean, spoiler alert, I really liked it.
Haters. Yeah,
it was good enough that I
think Superman bombed.
It was good enough that Alex was taking out, like comic books that he had. Books,
I forgot about that. Yeah, that was good. That's what I'm saying is that like the thing is we're too good, right? We do these movies and it's too early. People aren't ready to hear our truths yet. So
that's like that's what people say about being a leftist. They're like being a leftist is being right but too early.
That's right.
That's what they say.
Yeah, that's the story of our lives, But
I don't think we can explain away the "let me see your driver's permit" plot hole. Personally, I think that's what it's like.
Yeah, I was thinking about that again.
Well, she met the guy. Went to the bar, and she met the guy pretending to be a cop, and he was like,
"It's a deleted scene." Yeah.
He's like, "Where's your driver's?" He's like, "What?"
Also, how does she know?
A deleted scene where they're like, "Driver's permit," and she's like, "Oh, a driver's permit." Like when you were driving the bus earlier. Yeah, just like that. Oh, makes sense to me. I might use this line later. Go ahead. Just credit me in the description of the video. Credit me.
Also, apparently, Sarah Jessica Parker actually ate that spider.
Oh wow! She went method.
Yeah, good for her.
So, since they're from like 1693, how do they know all the words to a song from 1956?
Yes. Maybe.
And also, how do they know how to use microphones, which absolutely did not exist at that moment in time?
I think my theory is that they
battle rappers can
figure
it out.
The minds of the people in there, maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
Also, they came in and the guy's singing "I Put a Spell on You,"
and she's like,
so maybe she's listening as she's coming in, and she's like, "Oh, now I know the words to that song." Because they come in and the guys.
So that's in the same scene where she finds out about the learner's permit.
And he's like, "I've got a learner's permit that I found on the floor."
Okay.
I will say one more thing in this space. Rich asked if there's a sequel to Rocky. There's 2 sequels to Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, that's right. We mentioned before we start closing out, we mentioned her briefly, the Vanessa Shaw character, Allison. How do we feel about the Allison character?
I don't like that the actress's name is Vanessa, like she's Vin Diesel or something. It's like there's an I in the name.
I like the fact that she's not that offended by like the Yabos thing, or like she finds Max
or that he's a virgin.
I mean, those are both green lights as far as I'm concerned, especially because it's like she's a very pretty girl, age appropriate, but
yeah. So it's like she kind of finds like she seems like the nice girl who would find like a dorky kid like him kind of endearing, and not take offense to stuff because she looks like a plain Jane. Like she's not like she's like I don't think she was even considered like the popular girl in school. She was just a really pretty nice girl that Max had
with
a crush
rich parents.
I mean,
rich parents.
Yeah, she ain't wearing Chanel or Gucci or anything like that.
But she doesn't.
I mean, all that sounds great, you know.
She doesn't have plans on Halloween. She like to the point where she's willing to show the new kid in town around.
Yeah. She's dressed up like Pride and Prejudice at that Fakakta party. It looks terrible, by the way.
When we were watching that, I'm like, this looks like an Amadeus party.
Yeah, like what's happening exactly? Yeah.
They all look like they were from the movie. We're from Amadeus.
You're gonna hear the laugh any minute. Yeah, exactly. I think she's a good character. I mean, it's sort of like this. There's nothing like super Mary Sue about her necessarily, but she learns from her surroundings, like picking up the salt thing. I think that's good.
I just think it's stupid that she was just standing there while she's getting salted. I'm like, do something, girl! Like, what?
Well, yeah. Also, these are kids we're talking about too.
Yeah. Oh, it's 5 a.m. I guess I gotta go home.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she has the forethought to take the truck and like make it look like the sun's coming up. I mean, although,
and she's like, come on.
Yeah, like let's get going before they realize that this isn't real.
And then Thora Birch is like, oh yeah, let's get going.
Yeah. See, this one. So Game Freakness here. They didn't know what the road was, to be fair, but knew what mics were. That's what I'm saying. Like, how do they like? What, I mean, priorities, I guess, but. And then lastly, like, so if Sarah's, doing the Pied Piper thing and like luring all the children, like, why are they like hyper focused on hunting down Danny again? Why don't they like eat souls of any of them?
Because children. She insulted them.
Is that really what? Is it just being a petty witch?
Sarah wasn't like, Thackeray's sister. Emily, she didn't do that. She was like,
yeah.
Like, it does seem to be like that because the dumb sister Sarah has to remind her, like, no, not the other one,
Mary.
Like,
yeah, look at all these kids.
Yeah, there's other kids
They're
coming, and then she's fixated enough on the one that insulted her that she's like, I'm gonna get her. I can't.
She
can't just be running around.
Me.
Yeah. Just like Trump for real.
Yeah, exactly. Red hair.
Trump's tweeting it. He's like, I would have never done that. I would have let that kid get away and gotten all the other kids. It's like, no, you wouldn't, bitch. Like,
it was fine.
Did you?
They're gonna do another one.
So from the chat, did you see the second one? I did not.
I saw it. It was fine. The only bit part was the throwback to them having to use modern cleaning appliances to fly again.
There weren't any horny. There weren't any horny bus drivers in the.
Horny bus driver got his own Disney Plus prequel series, actually. You want to ride this bus?
The wheels of the bus go round and round,
They have him on. They have him on.
Like, school. Who's the worst bus driver, Miss Frizzle or the?
Miss Frizzle was a great bus driver.
Yeah,
she's just always getting into adventures.
If I remember, they went through like someone's like intestinal tract.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a field trip.
It's for it's for education.
Are you hating? Are you hating on a field trip? Because I had some boring ass field trips. We had to go like 2 towns over. They're like, look, it's a bridge. Isn't that cool?
Look, here's how you make butter. Great.
Actually, we went to Charleston we got the fancy buses with the TV. It was fun.
Yes, I never had one of those field trips. So you're your fancy field trips.
You mean to tell me that living in New York, you guys never went to see a Broadway show for a field trip? Because that's how I remember. Like, my mom's like, yeah, we did that, and I'm like, what?
All right, that explains so much.
I didn't get to go see a Broadway. I didn't get to go see a Broadway show. I got to see.
I never got to see a Broadway show. No.
Yeah, I think I got to see opera once, but like local opera, like the like Kingston, not like the. Good opera. I mean, I've gone to the Met, but I don't think it was. I think I went to saw opera for school at like UPAC or whatever. But no, I was gonna say maybe you come from somewhere with all those fancy buses, and that's why you're like, oh, Miss Frizzle's not a great bus driver. I think Miss Frizzle is a great bus driver, and I think she comes up with inventive and interesting field trips for her kids.
Pay teachers more. Go for the match at school bus.
Let the record show on this episode of 1993's Hocus Pocus that we were in favor of field trips, and we vote. Thank you.
More field trips. We got to talk to the Bernie Sanderson sisters.
Exactly. American people are sick and tired of the only field trips being to the local cemetery.
Well,
the American people are sick and tired of 3 witches getting the life force of all the children in town. We need to redistribute the life force of all these kids.
Now, before we do one thing we gotta talk about is the legacy. I think a good way to end before we do it is the legacy. Like, why has
legacy?
this
Why Hocus Pocus has like stayed in the imagination of people?
Yeah,
sure.
standard Halloween tradition. Like,
well, I think you hit on something earlier, the whole Disney Channel thing, right? Like that they would play this a lot, and so like during the holiday, then you would be like, oh, it's this one. This one's pretty good.
Even The Wizard of Oz wasn't a big of a success when it came out originally in 39. It didn't take until CBS bought the rights to it, and sometimes but I mean also with streaming. Like, I think that's the thing too. Like, a lot of people don't realize that it's like just doing like watching stuff on streaming is still fairly new. There are people who dedicate like almost like Hocus Pocus for like a decade was always ABC Family, Freeform, Disney Channel over and over. Every day they play it. Sometime, multiple times during the day, even at this point. That and Nightmare Before Christmas, which is a Halloween movie, not a Christmas movie. Okay, they even said that too, by the way. So it just grew legs, and I guess a lot of people are like, it's a charming, Halloween movie for the fam. I guess
Well, didn't they even do like a whole show? Like I want to say at like Disneyland or Disney World. Didn't they do like a big live show for it too, where they like. Right, like that's, I mean, that's crazy.
Which
like,
originally it was supposed to be Disney's Haunted House, which it was supposed to have the haunted house, whatever, like correspond with it. And then over time, they had like a much darker concept, like a much more traumatizing for children concept that Mick Garris was coming up with for this movie. And then they kind of scrapped that. They're like, we should make something lighter, and like the kids are actually going to be able to watch, and not like whatever messed up thing comes out of like Stephen King's favorite TV writer or TV director's mind.
He directed Sleepwalkers.
That's right. He did.
And he wrote Stephen King's It. I mean, he
also wrote he directed and Stephen King wrote the TV version of The Shining after Stephen King was really upset with Kubrick's version of it. So he was like the first Mike Flanagan kind of that Stephen King was like, I'm writing
proto Mike Flanagan, right? Yeah. By the way, people also ask about the Hocus Pocus theme park stuff. Can you meet the Sanderson Sisters at Disney World? No, you cannot meet the actual Sanderson Sisters for a meet and greet at Disney World. The follow-up question is probably like, can you please give Sarah Sanderson my number? But I don't see that.
I also think, like, just from personal experience, like when I was a kid, Halloween was like hands down my favorite holiday because it has like it has everything. You get to dress up in a costume, and there's no like expectations of like having to interact with family members. You just get to go out, and like New Paltz, when I was a kid, they don't really do it. Your parents
really force you out because they got a party to do at the house. Like, I mean, my fondest memory of Halloween is seeing Tim Curry as Frankenfurter in the Rocky Horror Picture Show for the first time. They had on TV. We came back home for trick or treating, and there he is singing "Sweet Transvestite." I'm 8 years old, and I'm like,
"Right, what's a transvestite?"
I'm like, "Wow, what is this?" And my mom was like, "Go upstairs." I'm like, "Nah, I'm watching this."
What are Yabo's mom? Anyway.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, like Halloween was like
Yabos Lanthimos. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, it was like this big spectacle because number one, obviously we have all like the apple farms up here, so they would all have like hay rides and like they would really get into that. And number two, there was this family called the Gunthers that would build this thing called the Gunthers house, which was they turned the entire park. Well, they turned the entire park into like a haunted house, and they had all these people that they would volunteer. Like they're gone now, and like so they don't do it. Like this generation doesn't know about the Gunther house. But they would turn it into like this really amazing, like elaborate haunted house. They had like money, and they were like that. This is what they're giving back to the community every year. So as an adult, let's all just say like I definitely want to recapture that feeling of like being young and Halloween and like capture some of that Halloween spirit. And I feel like a movie like this. I mean, for me, it's Nightmare Before Christmas. I think it's the movie that every Halloween that I watch that like gives me that little like nostalgia shot. Like I even watched it the other night after
Timber, like that Edward Scissorhands, like even Pee-wee, like all those.
So
besides like horror films, but like films that geared towards Halloween, definitely.
But I'm saying, like, I think that this movie is as popular as it is because of that. Like, because people are so, like, that is such a thing that, you know, so many adults want to do. They want to recapture that feeling. And then obviously they have kids, and then, you know, their kids want to capture that feeling, and it's like,
and then
you know,
they
like,
get older,
look at this thing that's on TV that, you know, that I watched.
So and that comes back to kind of like the legacy of this movie, right? Because like, so Bette Midler went on stage on her tour in 2015, like dressed as the character and Did I Put a Spell on You? And like had her backup singers like dressed up like the Mary and Sarah characters. And then my understanding is that around that same time there was the a special. Like it was like a show or something along those lines that like
they did like a 25th anniversary, I think.
Right, which is where they kind of like that's where this resurgence for Hocus Pocus is good actually kind of came from, is that to be like actually have you really watched it that much? And I think that it's notable that all this other stuff came together because this was one of those things that was there was a COVID thing, right? They'd like it was a Halloween 2020 broadcast that like brought together Bette Midler and Sarah Jessica Parker and Kathy Najmi and Thora Birch, all them. And then that's ultimately what led to people like, I guess there's enough demand that we could do another one. And so they make another one. And then I guess they're going to make a third one. Like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, also they go to Comic Cons all the time. So, you know, it's you know, I
wonder if the thing with the third one though is kind of like a Spaceballs thing where it's like they keep saying they're gonna make a third one, and like that's what it seems like. Yeah, it's like it just doesn't.
The hunt for more money, you know.
Exactly, the hunt for more and more money. But I think that it's and before
money.
Money used to go round the world, go round.
It's just interesting because. And for me, that's where it earns the inclusion for our coverage on Witches Month is just like the legacy of it. And the fact that like, even though like nobody's putting this on their top 20 movies of all time list, right? But it's generally
unless
beloved.
You're a Disney adult.
Right, exactly. Actually, Hocus Pocus is, Godfather, sure. But have you seen Hocus Pocus 1993? Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably.
I'm going to make them a hocus that they can't pocus. You come to me on Halloween night.
You come to me on this the day of my candle burning. So its inclusion in this is more for because we're talking about witches throughout cinema and throughout movies and how they show how our interactions with those types of characters change as time goes on, right?
Yeah, and we should say anyone that's new to watching this, we've done a similar kind of month with zombies, and we've done a similar one with vampires.
Slasher movies, we did. Yeah. I mean, we have a bunch of these like theme months. We do adventure movies,
probably at this point.
Yeah, I mean, sure, yeah, absolutely.
We're gonna get some werewolf movies coming up.
And it's interesting, and we're going to be we're going back to noir in November for Noir-vember, and it can be interesting when you watch these things in context together. So when you have something where you have a certain type of a movie, and then you have like this is obviously on I think this is the only comedy that we're doing, right? That's
I mean, besides Bell Book and Candle.
I guess Bell Book and Candles, it's different kind of comedy, different era. But I think it's notable because it's interesting to see
the Sanderson Sisters. I've heard of them.
Oh yeah, I think I'm allergic to your binks. Thank you. Deep cut, everybody. But it's like we did with the Vampire Month, right? That we did last year, where it's like you can't include everything. Like at that point, we didn't include the Hammer horror. We didn't the Christopher Lee Dracula was one omission. We definitely intentionally did not include Twilight, and and that's not including like television media and things along those lines. But we did pretty good. We did pretty good running the game.
We have done Twilight this year when they were playing it on YouTube for free nonstop for like a month, that would have definitely hit the zeitgeist because I was just. Well, I was like, look, it's a baseball scene.
You can do that next tour I go on.
There you go.
Let's put that on the list.
I don't think I got
Hey, I
that
made my own Twilight film with my friends. Like I was cast as Bella. It was great.
50 Shades of Twilight.
There you go. Hey. Right. We got to remember. 9/11 is the reason why we got Ellen DeGeneres canceled because of 9/11, My Chemical Romance. Twilight. Like I'm like, there's a whole like.
I thought you were gonna do like a
connect the dots, sheeple.
Yes,
9/11, Ellen DeGeneres, connect the dots.
Stephenie Meyer wrote Twilight based around like My Chemical Romance, and
believe it or not, I was actually trying to make a point. I don't know what we're doing right now, but like I was trying to make a point about witches within culture, and it's obviously we're not going to be able to get all of them, but it's interesting to be able to show.
I'm just trying to join the Black Parade personally.
There it is. So.
Looney Tunes, Home Alone 2 is iconic because of Tim Curry.
Okay. Yeah. The not iconic.
Fuck Trump.
The Vivitch. Literally the next movie we're doing. That's next week.
Yeah.
For episode 300. So yes, correct. And then we're we got Love Witch. We got doing Kiki's Delivery Service. And we're ending with Weapons.
Feels like Kiki's Delivery Service is like out of left field, like completely out of right, because it's like
it's the outline.
Visions of it's like it's just visions of like kind of a witch character from a completely different cultural milieu. But I like going through these every single time and like looking at how they've changed. I mean, obviously witches have gone back as far as vampires, but probably farther than even vampires as like a cultural trope.
Sure, and arguably from perspective of the viewpoints of the characters, Bell Book and Candle is more progressive than Hocus Pocus because you see that like they have they talk to each other about things that
Bernie Sanderson sisters.
They talk about things that are not hey, let's do evil right now. Like that kind of thing. But it's interesting to see it recontextualized with like a very 90s sentiment. And this is also a perfect example of sometimes what are the movies that connect with people most aren't the best movies that you've ever seen, but ones that like, oh, I enjoy watching that. That's a good time. That's a good time. And this definitely, I think, falls into that's Hocus Pocus. It's a pretty good time, right? You don't have to think too hard about it.
It's kind of,
in fact, don't think too hard about it.
Not to be all like I don't know, like thinking too much about it, but this is like a very
Forrest is like, but I'm going to though.
This is a very like witches at the end of history kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like the 90s is like the the Fukuyama like end of history's decade or whatever. Like
I'm familiar with the
predicting that being like But like it's kind of like the witches don't really have like a plan or like they're invoking these cultural touchstones like Salem. They're invoking like these cultural like like the thing about leading kids into which goes in a whole different direction with the 90s and like the fact like the idea, the panic that they were like just vans pulling up and like abducting children off the side of the road because the internet kind of broke people's brains. But like it does feel like a very end of history kind of witches thing where there's no great plan around it. There's no like they're just kind of back and like they're desperately like, oh well, maybe we should get some children. They're like kind of aimless about it. They have no real like they're not tethered to anything, right? Like they have no grasp of anything. It's just kind of like a disorienting experience to watch like these like the entire plot is just like witches, but it's the 90s. And it's like, I don't know, it doesn't really go anywhere.
Right. And I mean, their best coordination is like walking together. Like they have that cool walk that they all do together, right? Which does look cool, to be fair. That does look awesome. Right. So, as we all know, Letterboxd is a social media site for film lovers talk at, with, and to each other about the movies they love, maybe the movies that they didn't love, maybe the movies that they are exclusively thirsting over one of the three sisters. We're not going to say which one. We all know who it is. Big Mary fans in the house. And of course, it's best expressed succinctly, not just Siskel's and Eberts of the world. Everyone can have their say, but it's best for the purpose of this bit if that be on the terser side, on the shorter side, where they are collected weekly for Forrest and the panel, in this case, the panel being Kristina and Conan, to react to laugh at with, et cetera, and all of this is done weekly, collected by yours truly, and that's what this bit is. These are the Letterboxd one-liners for Hocus Pocus. Let's go. When I first watched this film as a kid, I asked my dad what a virgin was, and he told me it was a person from Virginia.
Dude, Thomas Jefferson and George Washington, such fucking virgins.
This background is Aces, by the way. Very good. Good stuff.
I tried to fit it right on the book, so it's like they're looking at Letterboxd reviews.
Yeah, her eyes are. Yeah, it's great. Nothing would happen if I lit that candle.
Watching this movie as an adult, I could totally light that candle.
I can light that candle anytime I want.
It would just give the museum ambiance.
So then what happens if so somebody like does melt down the candle, right? Like what happens? That's interesting. All right, I guess these are questions that we need answering. We'll go to Wikipedia. Name a more delightful trio of child murderers. I'll wait.
I mean, like, it does feel like there's like a darker edge that they very easily could have coaxed out of this. That they're
sure.
That they probably continually wrote out of it, right? Like they probably, because they said like, oh, there's 11 people that worked on that script, and then they were talking about how like there was a much darker script, and you could see like the 3 child murders, and like it goes back as far as like like the German Brothers Grimm fairy tales. Like there's always like this darker edge to it that's like, hey, maybe let's avoid that part of things. Like maybe let's avoid that like incredibly dark strain that could easily go through this. Like the Piper. Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's
a horrific children's story. Like
it's I mean, and it has.
But it's also it's in the 90s. Like being a kid in the 90s, like that's how parents acted. That like AOL chat rooms were.
Oh god.
It's just like the Pied Piper guy. He's like
right. Pied Piper of the internet, which turns out being like the parents are the ones that should have been watching out.
Yeah.
I digress. Guinness World Record holder for most uses of the word virgin per minute in a family movie.
I bet there's a drinking game.
There has to be.
Take a shot every time it says virgin. Hey, I'm not even a virgin, man.
There's not that much alcohol in the house, friend. No way.
You finish the bottle, you're like, all right, I'm a virgin. I'll admit it. If I lit those candles, you're crying. If I lit that candle, those bitches wouldn't come back.
You're not salty about it. Yeah. The first time in recorded history that daylight savings has been good for something.
Yeah, this is when they had that bill to end daylight savings, and then it got crushed in the Senate or whatever at the last minute.
Yeah.
They threw it away. It's because Mike Johnson watched Hocus Pocus and was like, I don't think we should throw this away. I don't think we should throw this away right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say witches are real.
What if the witches come back? I don't think I can in good conscience put this on the house floor.
Danny dramatically collapsing onto a haystack and sobbing into a pumpkin the second she doesn't get what she wants is kind of iconic.
Mm-hmm. She I don't know. She plays her brother like a fiddle.
Yeah,
she's there's the classic. She's like, "You're gonna take me out," and then he's like upstairs sulking, and she just screams. I'm like,
yeah. He tries to play the drums over her, and it doesn't work.
It reminds me in Wicked where they're trying to when Elphaba and Glinda are trying to tell each other like a secret, and then like Glinda dramatically goes over to her bed and collapses, and then she looks at her again, so she goes back to putting her head on the bed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, that's totally the vibes are the same. You're right. That's a good one. You've made four
gay ass bubble.
Kristina, you've made 4 Wicked references this episode, but that was the best one.
Yeah.
Sanderson Sisters, you have to stop. Your bitch too bad. Your vibe's too witchy. Your mother too cunty. They'll kill you.
Well, they do bring up the mother in the sequel, played by Shame, ringing that bell. What's her face?
Lena Headey.
Plot hole.
Yep.
I like her.
Another
She's
plot
awesome.
hole we didn't get to. A plot hole we didn't get to. So they don't know what the devil looks like. They're just easily tricked by Gary Marshall in a devil costume, being like,
they just always got horns.
in a very mid-grade devil costume. Yeah, like a specifically good one.
That's probably why I was so excited that those 3 sirens came into his house. His sister wife. His sister,
I know.
His sister wife.
I'm sorry, I just can't. Who they really thought? Yeah, let's have them.
Yeah, that's good. They're married, right? Oh, come on.
No, we're brother and sister.
No.
We got the same
Get out
last
of here,
name,
Trollops.
don't mean anything.
We're doing sister wife things.
Exactly. Love how Winnie doesn't know what a paved road is, but has an in-depth understanding what a driver's permit is. Love her.
Well, she spent 90% of her time at the DMV.
It's a deleted scene.
Imagine you come back after 300 years, so like, no, you gotta go to the DMV, and you gotta just sit there online, like waiting for them to update your learner's permit.
Shout out to that biker dude for impersonating a cop and making fun of a teenager.
I mean, that's a felony in some places.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Had forgotten how horny that bus driver was. Quite horny.
Yes.
He has Sarah sitting on his lap too.
Oh yeah, he sure does. Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know how that guy sells a job. Like, even for like
runs over a cat. I mean, it's what is this bus? Like, who is?
He runs over a cat and he's like, oh, I think I hit a speed bump.
Yeah, exactly. You get the feeling it's not the first time that's happened. Everyone acts like the curse that turned Minx into an immortal cat is this horrible ordeal. My boy gets to sleep for 20 hours a day and doesn't have to pay taxes. Sign me up.
Yeah, and they only need him one day a year to be like, hey, don't light that candle.
Don't light that candle. You got one job.
I could smell the virginity on you. Don't you dare fucking light that candle.
I see you with your letterboxd account. Don't go anywhere near this handle. Thank you, letterboxd. Everybody.
Yo, with glasses like that, you ain't getting any pussy. Don't you dare fucking light that candle.
It's like, why is this cat lighting me up? Jesus. Bus driver scene should be in an HR training video. Kind of hard. Have y'all ever seen those HR training videos? They took a step towards the absurd a few years ago, and I was like, wow, how can I make these? I want this to be my job. I will do this.
People have like posted them like kind of the craziest ones.
Well, because people would just like tune out for it, and so they just started making them as crazy as possible. Like, okay, here's like a guy in a bear costume, and like here's like a pirate, and like what are they? They just are doing anything they can to like hold people's attention for like 45 seconds to get the message across.
I really like the idea that that guy, the bus driver from this, is now Trump's Secretary of Transportation.
Right. Damn it! That's my joke, and I totally like didn't even think about that. So there you go. Congratulations. That is, I say that all the goddamn time.
He's like,
anytime you see any degenerate.
He shows up that cabinet meeting, and there's like blonde woman walk by, like, whoa.
Yeah. Pam Bondi walking by or something. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, those are the Letterboxd one-liners for Hocus Pocus 1993. Please follow the show on our Letterboxd account at Movie Night Extra, where we are posting content from all the great episodes, the main shows that we do, attended short-form content, written pieces, so on and so on. So great follow. You can follow Hokey Pokey 1993 over there at Always Flacco, who
it's my remake with Gumby. Gumby is
Gumby, damn it!
Very good. Yeah, it's okay, Looney Tunes. I have other jokes. It's okay, but specifically, I was mad at myself for not getting to the post first. So, I Always Flacco. He's logging all the stuff we do on this show, as well as for many other things he's doing along in his movie journey. I know you just did The Sting with Unkind Rewind guys, and I saw that you logged that. That was cool. I listened to that episode.
That was crazy. Yeah, and then I logged one battle after another. I had a good I did the old where because I try to like summarize it, but without like giving spoilers if I can help it. Like that's kind of
people get really mad if you put spoilers sometimes. I'm like, well, why didn't I don't know, be somewhere else?
The point of
Letterboxd. Why are you surfing the reviews for this movie?
Yeah, don't look at the reviews for a movie you haven't seen. I don't know. That's a wild idea. One Hocus after another. Right, exactly. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's where is it? Here we go. One Hocus after another. So follow Forrest for that. Always Flacco. I, of course, amok at Conan Neutron, which is
they
what
were
my
certainly running
scenes.
amok in one battle after another. And was like,
they absolutely were. That was the whole like back half of the 45 minutes, I think. You can follow me for the highbrow, the midbrow, the Populous Fair, as well as the Criterion Challenge, which is closing near its end. I've been pretty active lately. I've actually kind of gone through and logged some stuff that I made a top 100 of my favorite movies list, and I realized there was a bunch of them I never like reviewed. So I've been at least writing like short reviews for all of those, and even when I don't have time to watch it or when I'm too busy, too busy not sleeping and preparing for the show. But yeah, follow me at Conan Neutron, at Christina, Cosmopolitics, Kristina down there, Abolish Ice and J. And you can follow her along for her more frequent than normal lately.
I logged in the new Cillian Murphy movie. It was really good.
Is that the prison one? Is that the one where they're in prison or whatever?
No, when they're in the reform school.
Oh, no, that's a different one? Okay.
They're going to be doing that later. Okay.
I can't get that dude likes to work. The last thing I saw with him was the Criterion Closet set where our man walked off with that whole big ass box set.
People pissed about that. I'm like, he robbed them blind. He's like,
are you kidding me? I'd be like, hey, you need this shelf? Is this shelf good? Can I take this? Yeah. I know it isn't a movie. I'd be like, what? Dude, man, you're gonna have to take it away from me.
Blind. I was so proud of him, man.
Yeah, you have to go. You better go get that mall cop. I'm gonna come out here with this whole closet.
But yeah, the movie Steve. I mean, props to him for always working and not doing big blockbusters, but more focusing on his production company, Big Things Films or whatever. And Steve's a really good movie. It's about teachers, specifically him. Focus on like misbehaved boys, reform school for troubled youth. Like it's all about a day in the life of him. It's really
cool. All right, right on.
He's losing it.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, so let's hit it with the plugs, and we'll get into final thoughts after that.
If you're watching us on YouTube, please like and subscribe, and then hit the bell to get notified whenever we're streaming. And we'd humbly request that you watch the video to the end, because it helps us with the algorithm and helps more film fans to discover the show. We're also monetized. If you want to get your chat questions definitely read on stream, you can always send us a super chat, which will help us keep the show going. Every cent helps. If you're watching on Twitch, you can gift us a free sub on Amazon Prime with your Prime membership, but getting subs on Twitch is always appreciated, and it helps to follow us on there as well. We also have an audio feed, which is available wherever you download podcasts, if you prefer to listen to podcasts rather than watch the stream. That's updated usually the same day we stream, but watching on YouTube and Twitch is the best way to get the show first, live as it happens. If you want to support us with a monthly donation and get access to all of our after parties forever, which go patron only after we do them, you can become a patron at patreon.com/movie night extra. Link is in the description for that. It really helps us keep the show going since we do have some expenses to make this happen. We also have a Discord community. Link is in the description for that. We sometimes watch movies we cover on there. We get into conversations about everything from film to TV shows to related podcasts. We even have a Discord channel for memes. It's really fun on there. You can find us on all the social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter, and Threads. You connect with us on all of those. Talk to us. We'd love to hear from you. Lastly, we recently made a TikTok at Movie Night Extra where we're putting up short form clips from the episodes. Okay, passing this to Conan so he can tell you about his music and this week's Protonic Reversal. Conan, who's on Protonic this week?
Yes, indeed. So Steve Tulipana of Season to Risk and Violentier and Record Bar in Kansas City was on this week. That's now in the general feed. There is a reissue of their Inner Perfect World record for Record Store Day that just was announced as well. So very exciting stuff. If you know that band, great Kansas City band, check that out. Andrew Dalton of Nuzzle coming on Thursday for a talk about the Santa Cruz band, about the reissue that's happening of their stuff as well. Some other cool stuff happening with Protonic, protonicreversal.com. Subscribe, like, all the normal things. $1 a month, patreon.com/protonicreversal for advanced access. Always appreciated. But October, back half anyway, belongs to Conan Neutron, The Secret Friends. We will be out on tour in just a little bit over a week's time. We will be playing Chicago, Minneapolis, Lincoln, Denver, Salt Lake City, Boise, Eugene, Portland, and Seattle for Rat City Recon with Piss Jeans and Helmsley and God Bullies, Buildings, Austerity Program, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to be a hell of a lineup. It's going to be great. So come see us if you're in any of those states. And then in November, we have Kansas City, Jackson, Mississippi, Atlanta, Georgia, New Orleans, Austin, Denton, Wichita, Santa Fe, and Phoenix coming up, which is going to be the first Southern JAG that we've done in a little while. So excited to play those places as well. And then we're playing December 5th in LA for my birthday with Mike Watt, which is going to be amazing. I'm really, really excited for that. I've not gotten to do anything for my birthday show-wise for a very long time, so it's very exciting. NeutronFriends.com, NeutronFriends.bandcamp.com. I'll be on next week, but I'm not going to be on for the next 2 episodes after that, which I think you guys can talk about who's going to be on for those. Come
regular. It's show regulars. So, well, actually, I guess Josh isn't a show regular, but he's been on before. So it's repeat guests. So it'll be in good hands.
Good to know.
Trollop.
Exactly.
A
bunch of trollops. Exactly. Good.
I like that word. I don't know why.
You're really hyper fixated on it, but I'm not mad about it. It's a good word. Christina, what do you got? Come on.
My birthday's on Saturday.
Woo!
I'm gonna be live streaming myself. I'm gonna wear a unicorn onesie and get drunk as hell with my customer's dog because I have the dog sit. So
on your birthday?
Oh man.
Yeah, I had to cancel my party. Oh well. Give money. It'll be fine.
It's hard. It's hard, like as an adult to.
Awooga.
It's hard to get it's hard to get people to like put stuff aside and do a party as an adult. I ended up I stopped doing them. I think when after I was like 21 or 22 or something, because I was like, people aren't gonna I don't know.
My third was fun because everyone liked that they saw my panties on stream, but whatever. Yeah. Yeah, besides streaming, that's pretty much all I got going. If you guys hang out in my stream on Saturday, please send tips and gift subscriptions because that would be nice for my birthday. Because
are you gonna do Shadow Saturday still, or are you just?
It's just gonna be my birthday party. That's about it. And I'm just gonna get drunk.
You can get drunk and do Shadow Saturday. Or is it,
I don't know. I don't know how that will end up being.
You can call it Shadow Saturday. Shadow
Saturday. Saturday.
Shadow. Yeah. This is racial shadow. That's a person.
Racial tensions, right? Also, I got Laverne Cox to notice me on Instagram on her Instagram live because I just typed Max Left and she's like, "Oh, let me give a Max Left hat. It's from the Majority Report merch store." And I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, she's been on podcasts that are in this sphere, quite a few of them.
I know we gotta get her on. Noticed. Cool.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to Laverne Cox.
Next week, episode 300 too.
300. This is Sparta.
Yeah. No, this is Sparta.
Or as Christina's going to say Saturday. This is Sparta.
This is a Sparta. And then we're gonna have so we're gonna be discussing the Vivitch next week, and then
another Salem movie.
And then we're also gonna have an after party with maybe some extra fun stuff on there. No after party tonight though. But we have no.
Yeah.
We're at 2 hours and we have not even done final thoughts. So I figure I mention it now.
I'm gonna be in Long Island while we do that the day after a funeral. So I'm gonna need to ramp it up. Woo!
All right.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right. It's just, it was my great uncle, but he died a month ago. They're doing.
It's okay. It was his great uncle. He got turned into a cat. It's not a big deal.
So, final thoughts, Christina. Final thoughts. Let's do it. Woo!
So, I do enjoy this movie. It grew on me growing up watching it because I'm such a huge Halloween fanatic. It's a good time. Is it the best movie? No, it's not. But it's fun. It's a cult classic. Thank you. I'll be streaming after this, probably. And if you're someone who likes witches, this is a good, witch movie. It's probably just a good Halloween staple.
Which
to,
movie?
You know,
This one. Which one? This one.
It's like who's on first? Both witches.
Yeah.
Great.
Which witch
exactly.
is which?
So, hey, that's a Scooby Doo Where Are You episode title.
I believe you.
But it is.
I said I believed you.
Yeah. I know. But yeah, classic Bette Midler and Sarah Jessica Parker and Kathy. You know, they steal the whole movie. You know, yeah, it's really not much to say besides, you know, go watch this movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, we could have done Scooby Doo and the Witch's Ghost.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like that would have been a hard turn.
That would have been a pretty and then the Vavitch, Robert Eggers, Scooby Doo. No, thank you. Ruh-roh.
Conan, let's hear those final thoughts, man.
And this is Willem Dafoe, like just
Jordan the Stallion again, hanging out with fucking.
No, you could do a perfect Scooby Doo. They take the mask off and it's Willem Dafoe, and he's actually scarier than the mask that he's wearing. Yeah. And they're like,
Scooby Doo, where are you,
Mr. Dafoe?
WB Kids YouTube channel. The WB Kids YouTube channel has been doing a Scooby Doo show marathon, and they did a puppet Scooby Doo, and I forgot how dumb Fred is. He's like, it's red herring, and I'm like, how you grow up to be the leader?
But he has like a 10-inch dick. That's how Fred manages.
Okay.
That's what he has that, and he has a band, and that's what he brings to the gang.
So all right, we're just doing the after party during final thoughts now, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Great. Everybody I really want to talk about Hocus Pocus. Oh no, you're gonna hear about Fred from the Scooby Doo's gigantic cock. Is what you're gonna hear about. Fantastic. Moving extravaganza, everybody.
That should have been my name, man.
Fred Jones.
The 300s will be much better. Trust us. Yeah, all right. So, like I said, do you ever notice that the Sanderson Sisters dynamic is very close to that of Three Stooges? Winifred equals Moe, Mary equals Larry, Sarah equals Curly. Notable in this analogy that Curly would be really hot. I think that there's some good hammy performances, some broad stroke material, a few decent jokes and gags for the adults. It's a little by the numbers. It's very silly, but I think there's a place for it. There's a place for very silly movies. I have not seen the sequel. Frankly, unless we do it for the show, there's no chance I'm going to. But peace and love to those that do. It seems clearly this, I guess we call it a franchise now, brings people a lot of joy, and that's something that we need a lot in this world. So if seeing the Sanderson Sisters antics are, that's what floats your boats, then Hocus Pocus 1993. That is the movie for you.
Hokey Pokey.
Hokey Pokey, 1993. Yeah,
that's my personal sequel to like the Barbie movie, or like when they did like battleships or whatever. Mine is like Hokey Pokey.
It's your prestige A24 feature. It's gonna be Hokey
Pokey. It tells the story of like why
you turn yourself around.
It's like Saw or something, like, now put your right foot in.
No.
Take your right foot out.
No.
Now shake it all about.
I won't do it.
Like, he's doing this because his arms off. So like, now do the hokey pokey. Turn yourself around.
What it's all about.
Come in this October, Hokey Pokey.
I want to play a game. Oh, what's the game? The Hokey Pokey.
That doesn't sound that bad.
Yeah, watch it.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. Put your left foot in. I already put my right foot. Put your left foot out. Put your right foot.
All right, well, we got an after party's worth of humor in about an 8-minute period, so there you go.
Look, all right, how serious can you expect us to be when it's so close to episode 300? The episode with the most yabos of any. There's two yabos and a
predominant yabos.
Yeah. So join us for that next week.
Join us next week for the Vavitch.
Yes.